Hello and welcome to DisasterScope. On August 9th, in the heart of southwest China, the province of Guizhou was struck by an exceptionally rare downpour. Within a short span of time, it triggered massive flash floods, pushing many villages and critical infrastructure to the brink of collapse. In Guizhou, the mountains stretch endlessly like sleeping giants, with clouds and mist often drifting through the valleys, wrapping this land in a veil of mystery. Steep cliffs, deep gorges, and winding rivers form breathtaking scenery. Yet, it is precisely this dramatic landscape that hides the seeds of sudden and devastating natural disasters. In the rainy season here, the weather can sometimes be as gentle as a mountain melody, with fine raindrops falling softly over terraced fields and villages. But at other times, it descends with a force that tears through everything in its path, without warning, without mercy. That morning, it began as nothing more than thin trickles of water winding along the narrow mountain roads, slipping past the thresholds of wooden houses, and seeping into the low-lying fields. But as the clouds sank lower and heavier, the rain grew fierce. The water swelled like a beast awakened, streams rising into rivers, rivers surging into raging floods that devoured land and villages along their course. Under the relentless pounding of the storm, the deep layers of soil and rock within the mountains became saturated beyond their limit, losing their grip. Suddenly, a deep, muffled rumble echoed through the valleys, not thunder, but the signal that the slopes had begun to shift and collapse. Tens of tons of mud and stone, tangled with uprooted trees and shattered rock, rushed down the mountainsides in roaring torrents. In just minutes, the once familiar valley was transformed beyond recognition, fields buried, forests stripped away, and villages swallowed in a churning flood of brown water.
Swell into rushing streams. Then in
floods and landslides often strike together, delivering a double blow. Massive boulders as large as trucks block the roads. Narrow mountain paths vanish beneath murky torrents. Bridges that once linked village to village are torn apart by the raging waters, their splintered planks and twisted steel swept into the furious current. Power lines are cut, communication signals fade, and the entire valley becomes isolated from the outside world. In such moments, there is no time to gather belongings. Parents carry their children on their backs, struggling up the slippery slopes toward higher ground. Neighbors link arms to steady themselves against the force of the flood. Some reach safety in schools or government buildings built on solid high ground. Others remain trapped in the upper floors of their homes, waiting anxiously for rescue. When the rain finally stops, the valley sinks into an unsettling silence, broken only by the distant calls of rescue teams and the hum of helicopters circling overhead. The sight is devastating. Wooden houses crushed like crumpled paper, fertile fields buried under thick layers of clay, and rivers that were once crystal clear now running dark and heavy, laden with mud and drifting debris. Rescue workers press on into the disaster zone despite the harsh conditions. They wade through knee-deep mud with supplies hoisted on their shoulders, use ropes to cross swollen streams, and dig through collapsed houses with shovels and bare hands, searching for possible survivors. Every step carries danger. The slick, unstable ground could trigger another landslide at any moment. In the temporary shelters, survivors huddle together on thin mats, speaking softly about their escapes and their losses. The air is filled with the damp scent of wet clothing, mingled with the aroma of hot food. Volunteers serving rice, vegetables, and tea, bringing a moment of warmth and comfort. Children cling to their parents, their eyes still wide with fear and confusion. They are too young to fully understand what they have just lived through. As time passes, the challenges after the disaster begin to surface. Clean drinking water is in short supply. Damaged drainage systems can no longer function effectively, and stagnant pools of water have become breeding grounds for mosquitoes, raising the risk of disease. Relief supplies must reach the most remote mountain villages, yet destroyed roads and bridges make transportation extremely difficult. And yet, in the face of it all, the people of Guizhou show remarkable resilience. Farmers gather together to clear rubble and mud from their fields, hoping to resume cultivation as soon as possible. Teachers hold classes in makeshift shelters, ensuring that children's education is not interrupted by the disaster. Neighbors share the little food and supplies they have, knowing that mutual support is the only way to survive these hard times. Experts point out that Guizhou's terrain makes it especially vulnerable to such disasters. Steep slopes, easily eroded soil, and a complex network of rivers, combined with increasingly unpredictable rainfall in recent years, mean that the risk is ever present. Both the government and local communities are working hard, reinforcing mountain slopes, improving drainage systems, and building more effective early warning mechanisms. But the struggle against the forces of nature will never be won overnight. Here, life has always been closely tied to the mountains and rivers. The people know they cannot command the rain to stop, but they can choose to prepare, adapt, and stand together in the face of disaster. The scars left by floods and landslides will remain etched into these valleys for years to come, but so too will the stories of survival, courage, solidarity, and the unyielding determination to rebuild.
我靠，真他妈服了！
Thank you for watching DisasterScope. If you found this episode helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any future disaster reports. Some footage shown is for illustration purposes only and does not depict the actual scene. We'll see you in the next episode. Stay tuned and stay safe.